Alright, it's my winter hike, February 19th. I'm gonna camp out tonight. Not going too far in, just a couple miles. But I saw this and I just had to take a picture. And a video. I think that's a nest. A huge one. Hello again, folks. Tack here on a winter backcountry hike and camp. Just going in for one night. Gonna test some stuff and see if I can freeze tonight. Anyhow, come along. Should be a great time. Hi folks, Adventure Cowboy here, out on a winter camp, February 19th, 2013. And I'm just gonna pan around, let you see a little bit of where I'm at. Yep, it's steep. Some amazing country. And we're going up there. So, I hope you enjoy this trip. This is what I'm hiking through. There's no trails right now. There isn't even a deer track in the snow. Just rock, some cactus, a bunch of cedar, and a lot of steep. One thing about these caves that makes me a little nervous up here this time of year is this is bear country, and while I've never yet found a bear in a cave, I know a lot of guys who have. This kind of cave's a little bit big for where you'd find a bear. I've found lots of bear dens and they're usually a lot smaller than that, but you could still crawl in them. I've got another picture that I took last fall of me inside a bear cave, or a bear den rather. It was freshly dug. I might include it in the video. Kind of a neat perspective as to how big a bear's den is. I'm 6'2", 220, and I fit in there plumb fine. I could have fit 3 more people in there, but the opening is really small, and I'm sure that's just to conserve heat. I am just loving this hike. It's you know, it's not very far from my home, but I've never been right in this particular area before. A lot of neat country. About another half mile up the trail, and I just got to a spot that was so beautiful that I thought I'd better share it. This is just amazing. I'm going to do a full 360 pan here. And then look back down the way we came. So, I'm going to continue on and I'll see you at camp. That's really not that far away. They're about 300 yards. I wish I had a better camera that came on quicker, because I boogered them from about, about 50 yards. There's a little rise right there. Right on top of that. There's another one. Sorry, this is rough. I didn't have time to get tripod out or anything. Awesome. That'll do. I'm gonna camp here tonight. Snow's just getting worse and worse. It's been pretty deep too, walking up here, so I'm just gonna camp here. The snow is all kind of coming from the northwest, so, and you can even see that in this. There's hardly any snow down here on the ground. So I'm just gonna pick this spot underneath this rock and under this tree. I'll probably put up my tarp, a little bit of a tent fashion. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to build my fire yet, but it's an ideal spot. Because even if I don't sleep on this side, there's another flat spot I can put a tarp shelter in between those two trees. But there's red pine needles all over here, which is what I use for fire starter anyway, so that's perfect. So anyhow, now that I got this pack off, I'm going to relax for a little bit and find some firewood. Remington gun oil wipe. If I could take more time, I'd have it built right for you. Just wad it up. You gotta watch your fingers because this is flammable. Get some sticks on top of it so there's something to burn. It was snowing a really hard, wet snow all day, so this is actually starting pretty good for how wet everything is. I'll blow on it just a little bit from the bottom.
I know it looks a little weak right now, but it's going to get going. Gun oil wipes work really good because they burn slower than paper. And what you see right now is those red pine needles. I don't put them all on right to start with. I save some so that I can kind of feed the fire just a little bit. That was dumb. I just put some snow on the fire. Now this will work even in spots where you can't block the wind. Starting to get a little bit of heat in there. You see that smoke coming up there? That means that I got something wet in there. Unintentional, but it happens. Well, that's my fire for the night. I'm gonna show you what else I got here really quick. Sorry, I about fell off my backpack. So that's my fire. That's what's gonna reflect the heat. Got it in the little hollow spot in that rock. And then my bed is pine boughs. I'm gonna put out my military sleep system. Lay on top of that, and I do have a tarp that I may use for a tent. But I'll have a good fire roaring up into that hole right there so that the heat reflects off of it towards me. Alright, battery's dying. I'm sorry. Gotta let you go. I'm gonna do a quick pan, show you where I am. Right now I'm above all those cliffs I showed you on the way in. But there's plenty of mountain above me. So, got my headlamp out. As you can see, my water's boiling. Hot. Very hot. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my stove off. I love that stove. Okay, the chicken breast with rib meat. Leave it to me to not follow the direction, or not read the directions before I came. You can see the chicken breasts are actually pretty good sized. Wasn't expecting that. There's 2 of those in there, and it says to add 1.5 cups of water, which I did. I got a little bit less than 2 cups here. Add it to the meat, and then the next step is remove the meat and then put the contents of the potato pouch into the water used to rehydrate the meat. Stir. Let stand 2 minutes. Well, I don't have anywhere to put these chicken breasts after I take them out, so I think I'm just gonna put the boiling water in there, and then I'll add the potatoes, and if they're nasty, I'll tell you. Okay, so then we zip it shut. Might have to start keeping these Mountain House bags and just reusing them for different stuff. those Idahoan instant mashed potatoes. Those work really good for this. Okay, stove's off. Well, we're going to have dinner here in just a minute. I'll put these mashed potatoes in there and should be good. Now, I hope that isn't zoomed in too far. Got my Mountain House meal ready. Got my Coughlin's little fork set up. Once again, something cheap that works pretty well. Fork and knife and spoon. They all hook together. I will tell you that this knife is worthless as a cutting instrument unless you do some modification. So I did. I ground it both sides and it's sharp like a steak knife now. But I don't think I'm going to need that to start with. I put a little too much water in there, so the potatoes are almost like potato pudding, but that's alright. It'll still taste good. The chicken's tender, comes right off. Oh, I better say grace. Wow, that's really good. I wasn't expecting that. That's really good. So, you want to try Mountain House meal up in the hills? Chicken breast with rib meat and mashed potatoes. That's a good one. It's not my intention to offend anybody by saying grace, but if you are offended, I really don't care, because that's between me and God, and I just appreciate the fact that I can come out here and experience His creation, come out here and experience things like this. There's a lot of people that aren't able to, and I just really appreciate the fact that I can. And this food is actually pretty good. Wow, that's really good. Well, good night, folks. Thanks for joining me. I had a wonderful day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Next time I'll try and bring some more batteries so I can get a fire started without having to worry about losing my video. What a special night. Any day is special when you can be out in the mountains. Well, good morning, folks. As you can see, it's a crisp day up here on the mountain. I'll get a fire going here in a minute. My boots are really cold. My water's froze solid. Just got my high point 9mm. You know, they're cheap, but you can beat them around and not feel bad about them. And the thing is never ever misfired or anything. Don't worry, I got tape over the muzzle so I don't get pine needles in it. Alright, I need to get myself out of the sack here because I gotta get going. Okay, you can see from my tarp shelter here and the snow down on the bottom that it worked. The snow that came down last night all slid to the bottom. One thing I forgot to mention last night, there's a video on YouTube by Craven, which shows how to use a basic tarp like that just to make a fantastic hammock for cheap. I bought that tarp for $3. It's a 10 by 10. So go check out Craven's video on how to build one of those hammocks. Probably took him 5 minutes to build it, and it was really effective. I'm going to try it one of these days. But that's Craven, and I'll put an annotation in the description, and maybe on the video, for you to go check out his video. But I got that pile of firewood right there that I stocked up last night. I'm going to build a fire because it is cold out here.
view of the route out of the canyon. I should be back to the Beast. That's my old Suburban. I should be back there in about 30 minutes. Thanks for joining me. Bighorn sheep. I'm just walking out of camp on my way back to home, and I spotted these way up on top. Cool stuff. The video's probably gonna be a little bit fuzzy because I'm zoomed all the way in. And an eagle just flew across. That's awesome.